I'm Cynthia, and we've stepped away from Edmonton briefly to cover my hometown of Sherwood Park. I've formed many wonderful friendships and memories in this town, and I would be remiss if I didn't pay homage to the things that are still very positive parts of growing up here, and also to acknowledge how much the town has grown and evolved since my childhood. I hope you enjoy this quick visit with me. Coffee shops have always been a space for community and conversation. I remember growing up, sitting with a cup of coffee, reading my favorite book or journaling, or sitting with my family and friends for hours upon hours talking about almost everything, from life or philosophy to the latest episode of a TV show or movie, to childhood crushes or dreams of the future. As much as the world keeps changing, I'm grateful that these spaces are still deeply entrenched in communities. I'm here to meet with Andrew and Tara, who run one of the local favorites, Roasty.
Okay, so I'm Andrew Hayes. I'm the owner and operator. We started this place just about 7 years ago now, out of my parents' garage, and just kind of started as a small something to help pay my bills at the time. And started out of the garage, and we just did little farmers markets and things like that to kind of get our name out there, and then it's kind of grown from there.
I just started as a barista and then just started working more, and then I just became interested in roasting, and Andrew taught me how to roast, and now I manage our roastery and also help with the roasting.
The first version of this was about 900 square feet before we expanded and made it bigger, maybe like 2 years after that. But yeah, when we first opened it, the idea was just to have mostly a roasting operation with like a small coffee bar. Never really thought much about having like a large cafe or anything like that, and it was just more of the kind of the community around us that dictated us needing to open more seating and be able to have more people come in, just because just after a few months of being open, it just really gained more traction as a cafe. Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate about how the community has just kind of taken us on as their local coffee shop. So we're built into kind of like an older neighborhood in Sherwood Park, and it's just like a really walkable neighborhood, so we see a lot of people walking with their families and their kids coming in and just hanging out for the day. So wasn't the intention off the start to have that, but it's just been a happy accident that we've been able to be embraced by the community so well. We've gone from just being like a little tiny place that no one knew about to now people, like, big parts of their life have happened in here, which is just a pretty cool thing. And I think that's just like something just kind of magical about coffee shops. Is just like those kind of connections can happen in a place like this, because it's just a natural meeting place and just something that, can bring people together, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I like that here we're able to focus on quality product, but also like quality service and then quality connections with people.
So how did you get into roasting?
Kind of a long trail of how we got here. My dad had lived in Brazil for a number of years before we got into this, and he would roast his own coffee on like this little stovetop coffee roaster. And he gained like a little bit of a relationship with some guys he would buy green beans from at a market out in Brazil. And then just after like getting to know those guys, it turned out they owned this like really large co-op of award-winning coffee farms out in Brazil. His name's Henrique Cambraia. And so through them talking, they had pitched to my dad the idea of like bringing the coffee to Canada and maybe having myself roast it, kind of thing. I was looking for something I could do as a business on my own, and just like kind of on my own time, and to help pay bills, and that I could try to make my own thing. So just kind of the two worlds just kind of lined up. I knew nothing about coffee at all, and it was just had to do a pretty big crash course to get into it. But so I think it was 2017 Christmas is when we decided to pick up a little tiny roaster and get it plugged in the garage, and just see what we could learn and what we could build.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What were some of the trials and tribulations of that?
A lot of burnt coffee. My favorite bean of the year so far has been our Columbia Pink Bourbon. Some of the more adventurous coffees are what I like to lean towards right now, just because it's just fun just seeing what like natural attributes a coffee can actually have within it, and a lot of times that gets roasted out of it with like some of like the darker style roasting. And
I really do like Colombian coffees as well, and right now I would agree that my favorite one we have on offer right now is the Colombia Pink Bourbon. But all time, probably one of like the Kenyan coffees we've had. I usually like kind of like there's lots of I don't know, there's a wide variance in what a coffee can taste like, and Kenyan coffees are usually more savory, and I kind of like that. I just think it's interesting to try. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna have to try that after this.
I probably could have spent a few more hours asking Andrew and Tara about coffee, but I wanted to make sure I tried their Colombia Pink Bourbon. This was exactly what I needed before heading to the next local spot. In junior high, I was within rollerblading distance to Golden Capital, so I would save up enough of my allowance and rush over at lunchtime to pick up my personal favorite, lemon chicken with a side of rice. I would enjoy that lemony sweet sauce over a bed of crunchy breaded chicken. And to be honest, it's still one of my favorite comfort foods. Golden Capital, located just off of Y Road, has been around for several decades and is a community staple. So I wanted to visit with the owner, Mr. Y, and his daughter, Lisa, to talk about what it is like to run Golden Capital and to be part of the Sherwood Park community.
咁我最早期喺國內嗰時，我20幾歲嗰時已經係，即係我當時咧，我哋自己咧投資一間嗰啲即係小型咧大排檔嘅形式啊。咁嗰時自己投資即係都叫做老闆啦，係咪？咁但係我比較即係中意學，咁我睇見啲廚師喺度即係炒菜啊各方面嗰啲嘢，咁我有時乜睇見唔係好忙嗰時咧，我自己咧都落去學下炒下，咁時間長咗啦，變咗就有咗個基礎喺度。嗰陣時就係移民過嚟嘅。我移民過嚟嗰時嚟到，當其時我哋喺國內嚟嗰時都唔知道即係國外環境嘅。咁嚟到就原來即係好似我哋唔識英文嗰啲選擇個行業係有限，個行業啊，咁變咗早期時就即係好多行業都好唔穩定啊，即係因為而且90年代嗰時嘅經濟唔係咁好，90年代啱就變咗咧，就後來選擇得都係即係入餐館。
So this is actually we're the third generation owners.
Okay.
So the first generation, I think they operated for some time. I don't know exactly how long, but the second owner, they actually operated Golden Capital for over 30 years.
Wow.
So he retired, and then that's when the opportunity came to us. So my dad worked there first. He was the chef at the time. And he saw there's a lot of potential with Golden Capital. There's a lot of room for growth. So that's when we decided to take the offer back in 2018.
Okay.
But he's been there prior to 2018.
Right.
Yeah, so it's close to Baseline and Broadmoor.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like less than 10 minutes from here.
Okay.
So we actually moved into this location in 2020 during COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was quite the challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so at the original location, Golden Capital's been there for over 40 years
Yeah.
at the same location.
Yeah, right.
We decided to move in 2020, so we've been here ever since, and it's been a huge improvement. And
good.
yeah, so we love this location, and so much more inviting, and it's so much busier in the parking lot. So yeah.
Well, I have to ask, what are your favorite dishes here and kind of what you grew up with?
Yeah, so there are a lot of stuff that I like to very often snack on. Ginger beef is definitely one of them. And I also like the dry ribs because, like I said, everything just made from scratch it's different than what we normally taste in other restaurants. And then I also like a lot of the stir-fried dishes because I think traditional like Chinese food is a lot more stir-fried than like deep fried and stuff like that. But yeah. So we're very definitely grateful for the support that we get from Sherwood Park. I mean, we've been around for 40 years for a reason, and we hope to many more to come. But it's, I think Sherwood Park has a great sense of community, and they, we see a lot of support from the community, and we try to give back that as a thank you to provide quality food and fresh food, and I think that's why we put so much effort and so much love into the food, and just to try to give back as much as we can as well.
呢度啲人啲風氣相對好啲，即係比較比較 nice 啲啦，或者可能我哋啲客好啦，即係個都相互都好尊，即係大家尊重，呢個啲民風好呢度，好咯。咁大家覺得，即係我所以買我都要睇選擇個浮，即係嗰個浮嗰個第一個消費能力啦。第二個就啲民風點啊。
Yeah, even though that we're not the original owners, but we appreciate the community and everybody's support. Because people that comes in, they just like, oh, I remember this place from when I was a kid. And now they're like a full-grown adult, and you meet their they bring their kids, their grandkids, and I love seeing that, the generation and generation. So so I think that just feels really nice to see that support.
That's wonderful.
Due to shortage of staff, so we haven't been able to open the buffet again.
For sure.
But obviously we've been in Sherwood Park for a long time, so we do hope to continue serving Sherwood Park for many more to come. Sherwood Park, like I said, it has a great sense of community, has great support, and everyone here it's a lovely community. So we hope to be a part of this community for many years to come.
I love to eat, and I'm happy to say there are quite a few more options in town now. One of the newer restaurants that opened right before the pandemic is Kobachi, located on Festival Lane. And I'm chatting with Ron and talking about the reasons he brought Kobachi to Sherwood Park and what Kobachi and being in Sherwood Park mean to him.
First of all, my dad's Moroccan and my mom's Japanese, and I was born in Israel. We moved to Japan when I was 5, and then my dad had a very first Moroccan restaurant in Japan in the city of Kobe.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's where I started helping out my dad's restaurant, dishwashing, serving, and just easy prep stuff. And I wasn't really thinking about going to the industry yet, but then the earthquake happened. So Kobe was destroyed, and I was already in California for college, and then my whole family decided to move. So we opened another restaurant, and then I was working there. After the restaurant renovated, one of our good customers was Japanese, and then he asked me if I would like to help him out. So that's how I got into the Japanese cuisine. Yeah, so I worked in several Japanese restaurants in Edmonton, and then I always thought something was kind of missing. I wanted to do something that's seasonal, so whatever I can find in the market, fish-wise and vegetable-wise, I wanted to use that and incorporate that into Japanese cuisine. So stuff like burdock root, we can't find it here as much, so we decided to use parsnip instead and make dishes out of that. For kabocha, we would just use the butternut squash, and then our concept is simple and minimalistic, and I wanted to do sustainability as well. So we serve fishes that's certified and traceable.
What made you decide to start the business in Sherwood Park?
I always wanted to pick a smaller place and a smaller community, and get to know my customers. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to choose Sherwood Park. I thought it was better for that concept.
Yeah.
A smaller restaurant that I can see everyone and say hi when I can once in a while. Yeah, I wanted to do that. So this place is only 680 square foot, and we can only fit maybe 12, 14 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we decided to start small and see how it goes. Yeah.
Is there Any elements that really stood out to you for this area compared to other parts of Sherwood Park?
My wife and I, we were driving around and we just came into this festival lane. And then it was right around this time, and there were Christmas lights and people walking by, and then it seemed like a very inviting place when we drove around. So I'm like, this is the place, yeah. And that's how I chose this very location.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty, especially
Yeah.
during the holidays.
Yeah,
and it's very like walkable.
Yes,
too.
it is. Yeah, we see like people with bikes and people walking their dogs and like saying hi, and yeah, it's like residential as well. So I kind of like this area.
Yeah, nice. How has it been being in Sherwood Park?
Slowly, I think we're getting people to know us. Yeah. Because we do things differently compared to other places. Yeah. I think a lot of people have commented on our rice. And it's very subtle. It's to enhance the fishes rather than overpower the fishes. So that's really different about our sushi. And I also try to make the rice like room temperature. What I learned from my first boss is that it has to be as warm as the body temperature.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long has Kobachi been in Sherwood Park?
It's been since 2019 August. So like after we opened, in 5-6 months the pandemic hit. There were like many transitions through dining in and just doing takeout, and so like my wife and I, we would like actually go deliver the foods ourselves, like to different locations of Edmonton. And we made the menu simpler, and yeah, it's been 4 years, and yeah, we're still around, so I think we did okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Very adventurous. Yeah.
Have you guys stuck to that rule since COVID, like keeping the menu simpler rather than complicating things?
Yes, we did simplify the menu, but I get bored of doing the same thing, so we have like seasonal stuff. We do like a duck udon, and something to keep everybody warm, more wholesome dishes, you know, hearty dishes we try to do on winter. Yeah.
Do you have things that you know, like you never want to change because that's like very personal, or you just, you know, it's like a fan favorite or so popular that you'll never change from your menu?
I think one of the things that haven't really changed since the beginning is our fried chicken. Yeah, we do this thing called a tatsuta-age, and it's a little different from the well-known karaage, different breading. It's a little crispy, and yeah, we serve it with a small thing of lemon mayo. Yeah, and that's one of the things that haven't changed since we opened. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding that too.
Okay, for sure.
Sherwood Park has seen a lot of change over several decades, but it still retains much of its original charm. From the quintessential Canadian Chinese restaurant experience, to the local coffee hangouts, and now the broader and more diverse food options to enjoy with family and friends. This town has grown up, and I with it, which is why I still love to call it my home.